What if we got into a pro-aging movement? One where we got to rewrite the script. We see all the things out there, we see all the stuff happening that we go, man, I wish I could change that. And we're saying, hey, what if we talk about that? Because the more of us come together and we go, yeah, that's what I feel, you start changing the energy, you start building a bigger group, a community, and so on and so on. Because we have globally all these conversations happening. Pro aging, if you're not 20, somehow we hear that you are getting old. And this is going to be an incredible conversation because I feel so fabulous at this age. And I don't know what 70 is going to look like, but it's like, I think it just keeps getting better and better. Lucie Rosa-Stagi, welcome in.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Rhonda, for having me. I'm thrilled to be here because I believe the conversations like this are how we can start changing the world one story at a time.
Seriously. And I love that you're partnering with us. We're hashtag speaker locking arms. Let's open our voice and let's communicate on how we can stop the shaming and blaming. And this lays right into that because there's so much that we can feel in our inner turmoil that we really believe that we can shame and blame ourselves and get away with it without living this life and not being sick and getting stuck in our way. It's like, come on, let's just clear all that and let's really help each other talk about the true script. Can we talk about what has happened for you and you saying, we need to change the subject, not saying we need to change how people see this. Can we share some more about that with the pro-aging movement?
Well, for me, it all began when I was 70. That was 10 years ago. Suddenly at 70, I was on my own and I really needed to reinvent myself. I could have easily said it's too late, but instead I decided to build a business to follow my dream of traveling the world first class. And most importantly, help other women see that it's never too late to shine, really. So your mission here, Rhonda, to stop the blaming and shaming globally really speaks very deeply to me because especially women over 60, they're often told they're too old. It's too late, that their best years are behind them. And that narrative really is simply not true. So what I've discovered is that our years of wisdom, resilience, and courage are exactly what the world needs right now. So my work is about shifting that story from shame and invisibility to power, purpose, and legacy. That's what I'm all about. So, I decided that my mission was going to be to help entrepreneurial women over 60 use modern tools like AI, personal branding, to step into visibility and share their stories and build businesses that they love. So, I have a business. It's and I have teammates. Our business is Launch Lab Academy, and I also have a podcast, Lucie's Inspiring Stories, and global projects like Ageless Voices. I'm building platforms, where women's voices are amplified, legacies are really honored, and connection really replaces competition.
And Lucie, I want to add on here too. What I'm loving you're talking about is that this is the time, like you're saying you're 80 and all this vitality that you're throwing out there. And this is the time where I know in my family, I've seen quite a few times where afraid of stuff, afraid that you've already missed the mark, like what you said, and the loneliness and actually starting to isolate yourself and tell your stories that you really are isolated. So I hope this conversation starts opening up for you out there that are in your 50s, 60s, 90s, whatever, to be able to realize that it's just a mindset and really opening yourself up. I want to share a story and let's get back into what you are sharing. So my father-in-law passed away January 1st and my mother-in-law is 91 and she's never been alone because since teenage years, she's been with dad. And this woman has started a new workout program that she never worked out, never thought she was going to. I said, well, perhaps maybe we get you a personal trainer. And she's like, really? So it's the curiosity.
Right.
Like where you lost your curiosity, just bring it back. Like because it gets so shunned away when you truly believe that you're alone and that you're old news. Remind yourself there's so much heart and so much wisdom that you have while you are at any age. We need to really start shining. So Lucie, when you can we go back for a moment, when you were starting off again, when you're in your 70s, what were some of the things you had to tackle to where you really got in there? Because I mean, for some reason, why I'm stumbling is because I think it's, you said you only had you had like 6 months of just like, oh my gosh, and then you just start moving forward. Can you share somewhat of a story so we catch up with how you got to where you are right now?
I mean, really, I could go back to when I was 60 and I, moved to Mexico, because there's a whole mindset here that if you're 60, people are thinking of you as old. They help women of 60 go across the street and whatnot. And even my, my housekeeper, who's now 73, when she saw me, she thought she was old. And I was like 10 years older, and she could tell that, oh my God, look at that. And all of a sudden, I changed her whole perspective, and people around her also. So, but what happened to me when I was 70? I was a 10-year relationship came to an end, and I was really devastated because I thought, relationships when you were 70, you think they're going to last a lifetime, but it didn't. And so I kind of cried in my soup for about 6 months. And then I thought, nobody's coming to help you, Lucie. What are you going to do with this one precious life of yours? So I decided, well, I'm not going to take a job, but I had this entrepreneurial spirit. And I thought, there's something inside of me that's bigger and I need to get it out. And I thought, well, I'll start an online business. Rhonda, all I knew was to copy and paste. But I wasn't thinking about anything. I thought I'll learn as I go along. And sure enough, the first 2-3 years were difficult because I didn't know anything. So I spent a lot of money, a lot of time, the wrong people, wrong courses. Not that the people were bad or the courses were bad. They just weren't there for me. Wasn't it for me. And so anyway, at one point, I became an affiliate of Tony Robbins because I was invited to his new legacy that he was starting online, and I became an affiliate of his. And before I knew it, I started my business, and I remember, when I started that business, I went off on a pilgrimage, and I had some business cards made because I thought, I have to tell people that I'm in business and pass out these cards. Well, wouldn't you know that when I got back, I had made like $5,000. And I went, oh my God, I can make money online. And
you got out of your way and you just did it, woman.
From that minute on, it was like, you know what? You're going to learn one tool at a time, take one step at a time. The universe, open to yourself to the universe. The universe will lead you. I've always been a great believer in intuition. It speaks to me. It has spoken to me all my life. And so, that's where I am today.
What are the things that you've learned along the way from 70 to 80? So you have this 10-year relationship, and you're like, okay, so this is not happening now. You go into the Tony Robbins community, you meet some people because they're like, oh, here, wait, there's some things like you earned your first 5,000 doing this, but you said there's some things here that actually we could actually be partnering with Tony Robbins because there's things that are missing here. And so you just kind of, this curiosity, you just coupled with these people, and then all of a sudden you have this new adventure going on. So what I'm hearing is maybe curiosity, partnership, not feeling like you have to do everything on your own. What are some of the things that you think that people can pull from to really understand how this can work based on maybe some limiting mindset they have to what can open them up and what you're seeing now that what you're doing?
Then I realized that mindset was a big thing that I had to get up every day, because our mind we tend to have negative thoughts. And that needs to be turned around. And that's what I figured out. And I had to work on this every day. So I had to get up, thinking, why am I doing this? Well, because what am I going to do? I don't want to sit in front of the TV, watch Netflix for the next 20 years. So I had a purpose. I wanted to travel the world first class. Well, I needed more money, didn't I? so,
Yeah.
so I thought, I got to start a business. And then, like I told you, I was open to the universe. I wanted to do this. And little by little, people just came to me. I hooked up with 3 moderators from Tony Robbins, and we became the Launch Lab Academy, and we took care of groups of people that were falling through the cracks with Tony because they weren't getting the support they needed.
Yeah.
And so that's what we did. We handheld them. We helped them launch their business organically online. We helped them scale their business online. And then up until last year, we were helping them with AI tools and whatnot. And now we're pivoting where we're looking to work with small businesses, medium-sized business. Imagine me at 80 years old doing this, just, but I love the networking part of it. That is what I love the most, because I love to build relationships. And it's really important for people our age to build relationships. And it's harder. It's easier online because it's harder outside, to do so unless you.
It's harder to get out more often. So online is a global situation where, because we're talking about this global change, Fresh Talks, global vision. So if you have that in mind and you love to network, I feel like that's like a really superpower kind of a thing, going into rooms where there's people that are like wanting to get to know more people, and it's about business or it's about something that you're curious about.
Right.
I mean, because sometimes it's not even in alignment with, we're talking about business because we're talking about lifestyle actually, but we're talking, like you got involved with all these different business things, but it really is the building the essence of who you are. And maybe it's a new story that you're writing because maybe you had a limiting kind of a space in your mind when you were younger, and you're bringing in this curiosity of like, here, wait, we can actually flip the switch and start seeing ourselves in a new way. So it's about really meeting people that are in alignment with what you're doing. And I think the more that you speak to that, you were talking about intuition. So that energy, it just seems to carry you in the right places. Because how did you know that if you go into Tony Robbins' place, you're going to be working with some people that are going to help in a space of, that he's not able to help them because he's looking at a certain picture or a certain frame, and you guys can see something else. But that's what you did. Anybody can do that if they believe that that their time is not close to ending.
Exactly.
Can I ask you a question? This is about death. If you are, is this true at the age of 80 and what you're feeling? But if you kind of take a step back and you don't think about these things, or you feel like this stops you, but the thing about death, and like, I only have so much time, and you get caught in that funnel, is the curiosity and the adventure and just finding who you are in the gems help you, so you kind of step away from whatever is inevitable anyway? I mean, we can be 20 and pass away, but whatever is inevitable. There's something about, how can we sidetrack those people and say that, no, it's going to happen, but let's look over here. Like, what do you feel on that side?
I think that people are afraid of dying if they haven't lived. I don't have that fear of dying.
Big.
Yeah, because I think every day is precious. When I get up in the morning, I think, oh my God, another beautiful, never before lived day. Can you imagine? Never before lived day. So this day is mine. I can do what I want with it. It's like a blank, a white set of papers here, and I can write my story for today, and it continues. The thing is that it is a question of mindset, Rhonda, I think, because for me, because if you're in business, it's not always easy. I mean, I did have my challenges, but you know what? The feeling that I had was never give up, because quitters, all right, never win, and winners never quit. And so that was like my motto. And so I knew that I needed just to be curious about things. And Tony Robbins helped me. That's what I suggest people do. Get a coach. I mean, you can go on YouTube and listen to a Tony Robbins, to listen to a Jim Rohn, there's so many people who are out there with self-development to help you be positive. There's lots of help today.
Yeah, and I love this show that brings the Fresh Talks Global Vision and partner with someone like you, is that we're just bringing on people that are in this space. What you're doing is, I mean, a coach gets to see you personable, like they get to see and hear you, and sometimes you've lived your whole life without being seen and heard.
Right.
So when you're working with people, and you guys talking about AI, and you're talking about all these different things, and I bet you have a big range of age and stuff like that. What are the things that you find that you're able, in this mindset, what you're saying, that you're able to really help them so that they open up and they grow their life and their business? What are some of the things that are there tools, or they're just like mindset and conversations you're having so you help them move forward in their business through AI? Or
Well, even if women over 60 or whatever time, I say 60 because you're retired if you're working and you're kind of forced to retire, and people think your life should be ending when we're filled with wisdom, we're resilient, and we have knowledge and expertise, and that needs to be used and needs to be shared with people. And so there's so much that one can do with their knowledge and expertise. You can write a course, you can be a coach, you can just have a group of people, a Facebook group, where I have a friend who started a group of women, retired women, and cool retired women. And within a year, retired women, within a year, she had 30,000 subscribers. She has over 100,000 subscribers. And these are just women that have joined because they're retired. And I think community is really important.
Yeah.
And whether, if you have community where you live, you're lucky. That is really very, very important. And if you don't, then you can build community online with groups like that. And I know that this particular group that I just mentioned, they're now going on trips together. I mean,
I can see that. Like-minded ladies.
There is so much to be had that all you need to do is, if anybody's ever worried about knowing what to do, contact me. I'll help. I'm there to help. I'm there to bridge that gap for you, because I don't want you spending the money nor the time that I spent finding the way, because now I can lead other people, to where they want to go.
I love that. Lucie, I learned so much from you. Just recently, you were telling me about a book that you've been involved in, and you've done quite a few things. Just like one page, it's 365 pages. Plus, they have a journal. They have all these different things. So right there, you already have a community and like-minded people that want to get their word out there. But it's always about partnering, because you're always like, well, do I want to be part of that book? There's like 5 other authors. Am I really going to stand out? But the people that are wanting the community, of course you're going to stand out. You get to help so-and-so and so-and-so, and it becomes like this big love fest. Maybe you go on vacation, which you have.
Yeah, absolutely.
With the guy that's bringing the authors together.
Absolutely. There's the book there. I'm in the volume 5. And of course, I'm encouraging people to be in volume 6, because
put the link there, Missy.
I absolutely will. You have a like-minded set of people that the theme is about resilience in volume 6. The theme was about abundance. So we have something in common. We all think, in the same way. And so when I touch people in the book, and they know that I'm part of the book, it's like, oh, like you're my sister, you're my brother. It's a
lot of people in community.
And not only that, but there are 5 volumes. So now you're talking about 1,500 whatever people, So there's only 365 in this book, but there are 5 volumes, and volume 6 is coming up. So absolutely. Yeah. So there are so many ways that we can bridge the gap today, I think the caution that I would say to people, especially older people, do not be alone. All right. I mean, that, look for community, whether it's online or offline. That is really very, very important. And you know what? Get outside every day and, create some fun things for yourself. I went to my shaman yesterday and he says, "Are you doing enough fun things?"
You're like, no problem there, my friend.
I said, "That's what I schedule at first. That's the first thing I do on my agenda is the fun things, and then I work around everything else."
That
So
that builds the day. It's like I feel like my first 2 hours is really about myself,
yeah,
because if I don't, then I might get lost in the limiting mind space, because it does take work. It's very seldom that you actually are just like all around being raised in this way and it just a flow and it becomes easy. And no matter what, you're going to have bumps and bruises that can stop you easily. So it doesn't matter what kind of your background is. It's like let that be. Find out, like, keep moving forward, keep working with a new identity of all this fabulous wonderful stuff. I really like that you're talking about that, the people that may be looking at, like, they can only see that funnel of death, is that they haven't given themselves an opportunity to live. And that seems reasonable from what you're talking about, because if you have the experience of living, you can find that curiosity. And even if you've been stuck in that funnel of death, 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 I'm so concerned, I'm 70, I'm 80, whatever, that you say, how can we turn on the curiosity? Oh, I need to call Lucy so we can talk about being in that next volume. I'm going to be in the resilient volume, which is number 6. I'm really excited about that, because if we're talking about me not alone being able to stop the shaming and blaming within
mhm.
communities, we're not talking, like every single person, because that's just a fight. What I want is to crowd out and work with people like Lucy, work with people like you that are attracted to this mindset flow. I call it mindset transformation entertainment. The more that we can entertain, like what Lucy's saying, being curious, getting out there, like what can you entertain yourself with? A good movie can make so much magic in creating a new program, because you feel safe when your mind is being taken care of emotionally. You open up and you become someone that can create. You're not stuck in the brain, but your heart starts opening up, and powerful things that you thought that you couldn't create, all of a sudden people are like, I want to work with you. Or if it's really just friends, bringing friends together, you will attract people, be laughing and stuff that maybe you forgot that you could even laugh and enjoy life. So Lucy, this is about everything, huh? I think everything tethers together.
It
What do
does.
you want to say? What inspiring thing do you want to say as we get close to the end here? You have so many inspiring things to say.
Well, I think that if you've ever thought that it's too late for you, think you need to change that thought, really, because you have a story. We all have a story. Mine, as you just heard, started when I was 70. So I had to reinvent myself. Rhonda has a story. Your
Yeah.
voice really matters and your legacy matters. So the world is really waiting for you, only you, because you're unique. So there's somebody that's going to resonate with only you. So if you like, if you need a chat, if you need to connect with me and be part of a pro aging legacy building movement, um, I have want that for you. I mean, we have Ageless Voices, a book that we just put out. There's a documentary that's coming out, and then we have a tribe, and we're looking for more women to join just this tribe. So there's an immediate a community for you that I can hook you up with. So, do not hesitate to contact me because I can give you some kind of directions. We'll have a chat.
I
And
love it. I love your energy too. So with this we'll make sure we get all the links and we get everything moving along in the description so that everybody can find you that's looking for curiosity and fun and rebirth and starting to look at things in a way that maybe they never thought they could, but they find it curious, like, oh, I can think that way. Yeah. So Lucy, with Fresh Talk Global Vision, #speaker locking arms, and we're talking about opening the voice and stuff. We are doing a virtual event coming up pretty soon, like in a couple months. I have a board of members that we're starting to put this together, and but we're going to be traveling, And so we're going to be going to San Francisco, but I know in 5 years we're going to be in Venice, Italy. We have somebody on our board that just has connections to different places. I'm really excited. In your area, maybe we find something that we can get over in your area and travel, because we're going to have some process where we bring community together and how we do it. But we have opt-ins and stuff so people can learn about what's the latest stuff we're talking about. I want to hear everybody's voice on this. I think we all have opinions that we want a safe place. I think if we have freedom, safety, and healing within our body, that this can be very powerful stuff, because the healing is going to come when you feel the freedom, and the safety is going to come when you feel like you're really listening to your voice and you're living your life.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you, Lucie. I got this. I'm going to get this right here and get it over to you out there in YouTube land and also social media. Lucie, thank you for being part of this with us. I always appreciate our conversations.
Well, I'm so happy for what you're doing, because, we just need to change the narrative, about it needs to be about pro-aging, not anti-aging. And I know there's a lot of people out there, doing that. And you and I are certainly two people who are really wanting this to happen.
I tell you, my friend, being in the health industry for 25 years, I just always think about how much more beautiful I get. It's like when I was 20, I was like this ego-driven person. That decade was very interesting because I just tore myself up no matter what. You think, well, you're young, you're vibrant. Well, when you start thinking about what vibrant means for you, and when you start really learning, like with your wisdom, to calm your nervous system, it brings you so much vitality. You start really seeing people for their true beauty. And it's incredible what happens in life, because it again, get curious with your spirit and what you're doing out there, because that is so sexy. It's so sexy. No youngin', because you have to build it. So no youngin' can get there, but they're going to, because as soon as they drop the cockiness and they start going on, like really building the internal space, that they're going to realize that they're going to be nailing it, and every day is beautiful. It's not like, oh my God, that day was gone. Now I'm 30 instead of 29, and you have a breakdown. It's like, oh no, there's so much more to live. Lucie, thank you so much, my friend.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. It's always been a pleasure. I love working with you because we're on the same mission. So I just want to say to the audience, if you've ever thought it's too late, let me be the proof that it's not. Your story, your voice, your legacy matters, and the world is waiting for you.
I thought we could start singing a song here, my friend.
I know.
I got my flute back here. We can start doing some songs. All right. I appreciate you so much. I do love working with you. Is this the second time you've been on our show?
It is.
Okay. I was thinking it might be the third, because we're just like, we're just building. We've talked quite a bit.
Well, that's because I had you on my podcast.
And I'm going to be on there soon again.
And yes. And of course, that's another thing that I've started. I love inspiring stories. So if you have an inspiring story, contact me. And I'd love to feature you on Lucie's Inspiring Stories. We have a weekly podcast. So,
yeah, I'll be with you talking about my journey, about learning about medicine, and why and how that transition happened, and what brought up like the curiosity in my life. It all tethers together.
Absolutely.
Talks Global Vision. Have a wonderful day. Keep the Mindset Transformation Entertainment, which we trademarked, because if the more entertaining space that you create, the more that you will feel freedom, safety, and you'll feel the healing in your body. We all need it. High five. I love you, and we'll catch up again. Namaste. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.